all that we understand and we support. Antarmann.
Having a positive mental health is imperative for every stage in life, from childhood and adolescence to adulthood. To live a meaningful life, realize your full potential, and add productivity to your work, you must have a healthy mindset. A scope of mental health is not only confined to the treatment of some seriously ill persons admitted to mental health centers, but related to the whole range of health activities. This is to be the first batch of people to study psychology under the guidance of the Purana. Personally speaking, psychology has been a subject that has shown students the broader meaning of practice, from having online to practicals on Google. All of it getting right, almost all of us question the norms of our daily life. Now, I would like to call Purana ma'am to enlighten us about the significance of it.
Thank you, Samantha. It gives me immense pleasure in sharing that 2020-21 is the first psychology batch of the school. And in such a short span of 6 months, and that too during the pandemic with virtual teaching and learning, our students have taken up the initiative to spread awareness on the matter of dire concern to the world, that is mental health. The theme of World Mental Health Day, accepted globally, is kindness. Kindness reminds me of a beautiful quote from my favorite book, The Little Prince, by Saint Antonio the Exupery. The quote goes, "Here is not a secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." Mental health has become such a buzzword these days, and it worries me because the silence, the shame, and the stigma is deep seated. We are all living in an era of continuous surveillance where being judged for one parameter or the other is quite a norm, making the youth more vulnerable and predisposed to the various kinds of psychological disorders. I could not refrain from sharing that half a century ago, we referred madness as madness. The transition happened from the term madness to mental illness with the advancement in neuroscience, where mental illness was attributed to the organic or brain related cause, thereby causing the abnormality. And now we have taken a big leap while we transition to describe mental illness as mental health. Our community still has a journey to undertake where mental health is not a taboo and we are able to talk about our feelings of angst, anxiety, apprehension without any fear, knowing that people around us would not deny our existence and would accept us with all our imperfections. Now, let's try and understand an analogy that we have always followed in our day to day lives for anyone who's anxious, depressed, and we feel for that person that the person is a problem. The time we begin to think that the person is not the problem is the problem, and the problem is mostly social, trust me, we will break away from the silence, shame, and stigma. Now, without wasting much time, I also welcome Mrs. Pooja Bhardwaj, our guest speaker, a renowned mental health expert who has extensively worked with children and adolescents. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank
Now,
you. Thank you so much.
now I request Nikita and Samanvita to kindly start the program.
Thank you, ma'am, for those wise words. Mental health needs a great deal of attention. It's a final taboo that needs to be faced and dealt with. Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of, but stigma and bias shame us all. According to me, it is essential to destigmatize mental illness in any form. A lot of people are carrying guilt and baggage and shame for what they're not even responsible for, but are definitely suffering from it. They tend to confide their emotions and suppress the wars that they're fighting. We, ju- we just want to say, don't hide. And the best way to make this echo is to break the stigma and offer a helping hand. Now, I invite Kenisha to share some of the myths about mental illness and give us some ways to cope with it.
A very pleasant morning to everyone. So we all know at least one person near us, maybe a part of our family, our friend circle, an acquaintance, a schoolmate, who has gone through and suffered some kind of a mental illness, or engaged in self-harm, or attempted suicide, or committed it. And it's shocking how close and real these examples are. How many of you would agree to having had suicidal thoughts at some point in your lives? And we still tend to look at mental health with a bias. So, on this World Mental Health Day, let's break the stigma. In a country that is pressed for material resources, human resources, and infrastructure, healthcare is a critical concern for people. However, the majority of people in India perceive health as physical health, and to be in good health is seen as being free from any disease that has outward biological manifestations. Even today, there are individuals who prefer visiting godmen and babas for resolving matters of mental illness. The realm of mental health is strongly associated with religious superstition in the country. Changes in mood, loss of appetite, and many other symptoms associated with depression are credited to the mysterious nazar or the evil eye. When mental health itself is such a new and upcoming concept in India, one can make a logical conclusion that its status is still in the beginning stages. According to the WHO, by the end of 2020, approximately 20% of Indian citizens will be suffering from some form of mental illness. Indeed, 20% of all Indian mothers suffer from postpartum depression. India reported an average 381 deaths from suicide daily in 2019, totaling to 1,39,123 fatalities over the year. Yes, these numbers are alarming. And this stresses the urgent need of a good mental health structure in our country. So, the stigma around mental health is fueled by a number of myths, and here we try to tackle some of them with facts. Myth. There's no such thing as mental illness, people fake it. But the fact, mental illness is real. And just like physical illness affects parts of our body, mental illness affects our brain. Myth. I will never have mental health issues because it only affects poor people. I'm too strong-minded. I have a positive outlook in life. The fact, mental health issues don't have anything to do with a person's mental strength, personality traits, or outlook. They can be caused due to a combination of social, genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological factors. And we must take mental health seriously. Myth. Mental health issues cannot be treated or prevented. The fact, most mental health issues can be treated if they are spotted at the right time and appropriate treatment is given. Successful recovery from mental illness also depends on whether the person has access to a strong support system in the form of family and friends that is aware and well informed about mental illness. Myth. Mental health issues occur when the devil or a departed soul enters the body. This is perhaps the oldest myth about mental illness, and endorsing such myths leads to people seeking treatment through faith healers, and which can in turn lead to their symptoms and difficulties being prolonged. And needless to say, it also greatly contributes to the stigma around mental health issues. So, the way forward, end the stigma. Here are a few points as to what you can do. Unmute. Talk about mental health. Bottling it up is clearly not helping. Open up to your loved ones. Tell them what you're going through. They deserve to know. Educate yourself and others. We all think we know, but do we? Read up as much as you can. Please consult reliable sources. This is as important as normal school education. Encourage. Be a mental health activist yourself. You never know, a simple effort from your side may change someone's life. And trust me, it's not that tough. Don't discriminate. Mental wellness deserves as much attention as your physical well-being. It needs equal treatment in the school and work settings. It needs as much care and support from friends and family as cancer or a heart disease. Take care. The pandemic has brought with it an evident increase in the amount of attention given to physical well-being. What about mental health? We don't need telling that the lockdown has taken its toll on the mental health of people across age groups. Self-care today has become more important than ever. So first, be kind to yourself because self-acceptance is important. Secondly, keep your loved ones close. You need them. And remember, they need you too. If you're feeling really low, consult a counselor. Please just drop a mail or a text maybe. We're privileged to have professional help available so easily for us through school. Trust me, seeking professional help always helps in some way or the other. And you don't know, maybe all you need is a different person's perspective to help you sort things out. Keep a stress helpline number on your contact list. It's as important as an ambulance number. Also, please make sure that your dear ones have it as well. I really hope you're taking down these numbers. So that's where I leave you. Let today be a good beginning for all of us to really start talking more openly about mental health because it matters. Let's break the stigma. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanisha. Loneliness can be normal and is only an indicator of underlying disease when feelings become excessive, all-consuming, and interfere with daily living. Hepzibah Rajendra is here with us to recite a poem which is composed by Sambhavi Singh. The poem speaks about loneliness.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Hepzibah, and I'm going to recite a poem, Alone in a Crowd, composed by Sambhavi Singh. I feel so lonely, even though I have people around. I feel so tired, fighting, to survive on this battleground. People say I have everything, I'm better off than many they mock. It's all in my head, they say, and I'll be fine after taking a walk. But why does my heart feel so heavy, as if I'm holding up the skies? I'm drowning underwater, and it feels like no one can hear my cries. I distract myself to keep me from opening the Pandora box in me, unleashing all the horrors it holds, horrors as vast as seas. I can feel the happiness drain from my body as days pass me by. It's getting harder to hold on to hope. It's getting harder for me to survive. I'm scared to think what would happen when I have no more strength left. It's this fear that makes me put on a smile and say, I'm fine, as if possessed. It is this fear that makes me look for things to tie me to this world, but those ties are slowly unraveling and all my reasons have blurred. Now I can hear my pain loud and clear, as if I, I'm left standing alone in the crowd with nothing but tears. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful poem. Health does not always come from medicine. Most of the time, it comes from peace of mind, peace in the heart, peace in the soul. It comes from laughter and love, which can only be achieved when surrounded in an atmosphere of kindness, empathy, and acceptance. People tend to fight their demons, but it becomes a lot easier when they start to talk and express. For they say to the world and themselves alike that they are not afraid. Now, I would like to invite Parnavi to give a short speech on the theme of World Mental Health.
Lady Gaga once said, and I quote, I've been searching for the ways to heal myself, and I have found that kindness is the best way. Unquote. Good morning, everyone. Today, I, Parnavi of Class 11A, would like to speak of the theme kindness. World Mental Health Day is celebrated on 10th October every year. And this year, kindness is a theme globally accepted by mental health experts. So let's understand this word, kindness. Kindness is a behavioral response of compassion, love, and comprises of actions that are selfless. Why we have chosen kindness as a theme? Kindness strengthens relationships and it is a singular ability to unlock our shared humanity. Kindness is a something that all human beings need to experience and practice to be fully alive. How kindness can help in improving mental health? The research shows that kindness is antidote to isolation and sense of belonging. It helps in reducing stress and brings perspective, deepens friendship. Kindness to ourselves can prevent shame from corroding our sense of identity and help in boosting our self-esteem. How does kindness affect our mental health? It is a natural painkiller. Research have shown that kind people have lower stress than the average people. Kind people improve mental health against depression and anxiety. It stimulates the production of serotonin. In the end, I would like to conclude by saying kindness is a passport of happiness. It softens heart and molds relationships that can last lifetime. So be the person that makes others feel included. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Parnavi. Now, Kanika Sharma has shared an audio of the song in her own voice. The song is about a person who wants to relive his childhood, who wants to grow up once again, one more time, but this time correctly. He regrets not living his life fully and allowing himself to be dragged into a race of marks and trophies.
सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए एक पल तो अब हमें जीने दो सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए एक पल तो अब हमें जीने दो सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए एक पल तो अब हमें जीने दो give me some sunshine give me some rain give me another chance I wanna grow up once again give me some sunshine give me some rain give me another chance I wanna grow up once again कंधों को किताबों के बोझ ने झुकाया रिश्वत देना तो खुद पापा ने सिखाया 99% मार्क्स लाओगे तो घड़ी वरना छड़ी लिख लिख कर पड़ा हथेली पर अल्फा बीटा गामा का छाला कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड H2SO4 ने पूरा बचपन जला डाला ओ बचपन तो गया जवानी भी गई एक पल तो अब हमें जीने दो बचपन तो गया जवानी भी गई एक पल तो अब हमें जीने दो सारी उम्र हम मर मर के जी लिए एक पल तो अब हमें जीने दो give me some sunshine give me some rain give me another chance I wanna grow up once again give me some sunshine give me some rain give me another chance I wanna grow up once again
Thank you for that presentation. Xavier's trains students to become the men and women that bring about a change in the society, who, from their experiences, pave a path for the betterment of others, who break the stereotypes and start afresh, and whose glory illuminates not only the Xaverian emblem, but the sky itself. Looking at the growing importance of mental health and the need to talk about it, Xavier's is proud to introduce the first ever peer moderation program in which the students themselves would serve as a peck of light for those thinking deep in dark, for those willing to share, an initiative that would be known by the name Sathi. Now, I would like to call Nandini to tell us something more about Sathi.
Good morning to one and all present here. So beginning with my little introduction, I am Nandini Gautam, student of class 11E. This year, after being encouraged to attend a summer workshop with Fortis Mental Health by our psychology teacher, Mrs. Shubhra S. Khurana ma'am, I got really inspired and excited to connect with Fortis and attending their workshops. One such was called the Pro-Social Peer Moderator Program, which was a unique platform for students to learn application-based life skills through the medium of online workshops. Conceptualized as a peer education initiative, participants of the workshop would train to become peer trainers for classmates and junior students in their respective schools. I attended the workshop on two themes. First was aggression management and other was bully to buddy. And while explaining to us, Dr. Sameer Parekh told us what are different things we can do after becoming young mental health advocates. The best idea was to make a club in school that will help each and every student instead of being judgmental. The volunteers will be there for you. They will lend you their ears for whatever you want to talk about, and in future, hopefully conduct activities and workshops held by psychology students, which will spread awareness about different yet very common in life topics and help towards ending the stigma around mental health. And hence, on this very special occasion of World Mental Health Day, we are happy to introduce Sathi in our beloved Saviors. Sathi, feeling lonely or alone or confused or unsure who to share your problems with? We will put you in touch with a Sathi who will listen confidentially and without judgment to your concerns. Remember, volunteers are not counselors and won't give any advice, but we ensure to be there by your side, no matter what. We are happy to provide referrals to counselors like our very own school counselor, Mrs. Prabhjit Kaur ma'am, who will be able to help you through with ongoing challenges. Our Sathi's compassion and empathy can provide emotional support during difficult times. A friendly, warm, and compassionate Sathi is waiting to provide you with the help you need. Talk about anything, the weather, problems with studies, your feelings or emotions that you're scared or insecure to share with anyone, or if you're being bullied or inclined towards bullying me, it is a safe place to reach out and connect. Connect with your own Sathi. Also in future, we will conduct sessions and interactive workshops led by psychology students itself. We hope to make our campus aware about mental health and end the stigma around the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nandini. Now we have culmination of some posters that the budding minds need.
Thank you for that presentation. What does your anxiety do? It does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows, but it empties today of its strength. It does not make you escape the evil, but makes you unfit to cope with it if it comes. The only thing more exhausting than having a mental illness is pretending like you don't. And it takes courage when you face your demons and fight them, when you surpass them and show the world that you are stronger than what they thought was possible. Today, we also have someone who wants to share a part of her life with us all. Now, I invite Avni to take over.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Avni, a student and a healthy body and mind enthusiast. And today I'll be speaking on stigmas and empathy. Whenever we talk about mental health awareness or advocating for mental illnesses, we see people, posters, tabloids saying things get better when you talk or seek help. But isn't it sad that in this world of over 7 billion, it is hard to find even a single person to talk to? And so many people choose to suffer and sometimes even end themselves rather than reaching out. I attended an internship this summer and got the answer to it. There are 6 stages. The first is accepting that you are ill, and the 6th is seeking the right treatment. But there are so many stigmas around mental illness that people are ashamed of accepting and would rather lie and sink down into hurting than seeking help. And this is to be ended. 1 out of 5 people suffer from a mental illness at some point in their life, and this is to be normalized. It is okay to not be okay. But this doesn't end here. Breaking the stigma is stage 1. How are we going to help achieve stage 6 of healing? For that, let's go back to my 9th grade. I was hurting. I didn't know if I was just a teenager going through teenage or if I had any anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, or any fancy medical term. I just knew I was unhappy. What was causing it? What could stop it? Who to talk to? Will someone understand? I didn't know. I didn't thought of myself as a human. I thought of myself as a burden, of how much trouble I make my parents go through, how much my slacking off annoyed my friends, how much everyone hated me, how much better this world would have been without me. One day, a girl named Sakshi came to me and gave me the biggest hug ever, saying in my ears, "You are a beautiful soul, and you are so, so important." We hardly knew each other, but she saw me crying in the washroom, writing loathing poetry online, fighting with everyone who merely tried to talk to me. She saw me. When she hugged me, I was so overwhelmed by her kindness. I felt seen and heard and felt that I mattered. She's just a girl almost same age as mine who observed and empathized. And now I look up to her like a god fairy. She's one of my biggest role models and she has changed the way I'll ever treat people. That is the power of empathy, the heart of difficult conversations, what brings us humans together, which identifies with us with compassion. That made me realize how the simple things matter and which are worth living for. Like, who will fangirl over Taylor Swift's new songs? Who will listen to my mom's rant about her job? Who will make speeches at school? You see, we cannot control or stop mental illnesses. We can only control how we treat and support the people who have it, and which could make a difference as big as of life and death. So today, I want you to ask yourself one question. Is anyone you know hurting? A friend, parent, relative, you yourself, your mates, peers, strangers you see daily, are they hurting? Ask yourself and do not unsee the answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Avni. Positivity means thinking in an optimistic way, looking for solutions, expecting good results, success, and focusing and making life happier. It is a happy and worry-free state of mind which looks at the bright side of life. Positivity means a positive frame of mind. Amrita Raj is here to speak on positive psychology.
Good morning to one and all. There is such a strong misbelief that psychology as a discipline just focuses on the weaknesses of individuals, their vulnerabilities that culminates into some kind of psychological disorders. Well, this is so not true. There is a new wave of positive psychology that has evolved over the last decade. Positive psychology is a scientific approach to studying human thoughts, feelings, and behaviors with a focus on strengths instead of weaknesses, building the good in life instead of repairing the bad, and taking the lives of average people up to great instead of focusing solely on moving those who are struggling up to normal. Now, let me share some interesting researches done in the field of positive psychology. Seligman, Steen, Park, and Peterson did a research in 2005 and came up with the conclusion that gratitude is a big contributor to happiness in life. It is suggested that the more we cultivate gratitude, the happier we will be. Another research reported that spending money on experiences instead of spending them on materialistic possessions provided a bigger boost to our happiness. Ackman, Norton, and Dunn's research in 2009 revealed that people overestimate the impact of money on their happiness quite a lot. They suggested that even though there may be a slight influence, it is not as much as we think it is. Therefore, focusing less on attaining wealth will more likely make us happier. Flow. Flow is a very interesting topic of research from the field of positive psychology. The concept of flow was first scientifically explored and defined by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. In the last few decades of 1900s, Csikszentmihalyi noticed that many artists fell into a particular state while they were working. This state was characterized by a particularly intense focus and great concentration on the task at hand, to the point of losing track of time for hours at a time. Professional athletes, musicians, writers, and people from all sorts of artistic and creative traits frequently reported losing themselves into their work in a similar way. Don't we sometimes feel the flow when we are immersed in doing something we are really passionate about? Let's pause and think about it. Positive psychology principles and exercises can be applied in several different settings, including therapy, the classroom, the workplace, and even in your own home. Now, let's briefly discuss and talk about what we can do to bring about positivity about in our own lives. We can keep connected to your near and dear ones. One should always respect themselves instead of underestimating oneself every time. We can challenge our mindset. We can talk things over instead of holding up grudges. We should be active instead of remaining gloomy. We can also try and give an efforts to make a difference and make this world a better place. We should always focus on the positive side of things. We should be kind to others and have an ultimate goal for ourselves. Now, I would like to conclude my presentation with a quote by Martin Seligman. The aim of positive psychology is to catalyze a change in psychology from a preoccupation only with repairing the worst things in life to also building the best qualities in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Amrita. Today, we have someone who has a master in the field of mental health. Our guest speaker for today is Mrs. Pooja Bhardwaj. She is a psychotherapist, a counselor, an advanced life coach, an NLP master practitioner, and is a global career counselor. Currently working as a senior mentor trainer for Tejas Gurukul, she has also been associated with an online learning portal. She has worked with many premium schools like Delhi NCR like DPS Gurgaon, as a life skills trainer, counselor, parenting expert, and teachers trainer. We are honored to have you here with us today and appreciate that you took out time for all of us. I would like to call upon ma'am to address the virtual stimulation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikita. And thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to address such a wonderful. I am so obliged and I am really very happy. I just cannot imagine that I am talking to a group who is just in 11th standard right now. The way you all have put up points today and the way you all are coming up with brilliant thoughts, it is so it really gives me so much of happiness that now the coming generation is so much aware already with so many good thoughts, so many positivity, because at our times we still have to do a lot of things that, to bring up people to at least come to the presentation and at least listen that what are we going to speak about mental health. Nobody used to come and they used to say this is just something, anybody can do it, and whoever who comes and goes can do this. But I'm very, very glad that now everybody is getting involved into this, because this is something which can actually bring a huge change in any country, in any of the generations. This is the most important thing which must be talked upon everywhere, in every field, in every profession. So thank you so much for inviting me here to address this thing. Thank you, Shubhra, for the opportunity. And I'm really glad. I would just recall some points which were shared today, which are very, very beautiful. The first was the fear. Yes, the most important thing is the fear. Normally people don't have fear of we say that we have fear of height. Nobody has fear of height. Everybody can go to that height and stand. The main fear is fear of falling, that if you actually fall, then what is going to happen? How will I get hurt? What will break in my body, and what is going to happen? So this is the real fear in all of us. So similarly, we all have fear of mental health, speaking about it, that how would the other person feel if I say that today I am sad? It is not always important to show a smile every day and go in front of people. If you are not happy today, it is okay to share that yes, I am a bit upset about something, and the other person has to understand and just take it and then talk about it. The issue is we are afraid, we have fear of speaking about our own feelings, whether it is good or bad. I will not say it is just good or bad, because the major stigma which is existing now is everybody is talking about mental health. But the moment you talk about mental health, the pictures which come up are the depressed ones, the people who are getting into suicides, or there some disorders and all that. So I really liked the last point, that was positive psychology. It is so important for all of us. The moment we talk about mental health, we should talk about happiness. We should talk about a free mind who is able to talk. We should talk about all those different techniques which makes us a very powerful person, a person with lot of strengths. So this is again a very important stigma which must be cleared, and it can be cleared only through this generation, that the moment you talk about mental health, the pictures which should come up is like smiling pictures, yay pictures, a picture that somebody is coming out of the struggle and all that, instead of every time showing that, oh, somebody is depressed, suicides, and so much of going on, I am not happy, I'm not happy. Because there is one very important thing which our brain does. I'm sure you must be studying about it, that whatever you see and you observe through your five senses, that is where your brain works. Brain is just, and it's always in an auto mode. What you give to the brain, it will give you back. It is not something, when when you were born with some intelligence, but what to do with it is only and only through your observations. So I'm very, very happy that these kind of programs, it really rejuvenates a lot of things in people. You understand a lot of new things, and you carry on in your families. The most important thing which you will carry on is in your families. Nowadays teenagers are facing a lot of things, because there are parents at home all day at the surveillance. You all are at surveillance every day. You're being sometimes being judged that you're not studying. Sometimes you're being judged that there's no routine in your life. Sometimes you might be judged that you're not eating well. So all day you are in the scrutiny. So this is again something to be talked at home for sure. Being psychology students, you must go and talk to your parents anywhere in your neighborhoods and everywhere. Whoever comes to you and says, my goodness, this lockdown has created so much in my life. So you should say, yes, it has created so much of opportunities in your life. Now you have opportunity to show your parents that this is the way we are. This is the way teenagers work. So you all can do a lot of things around you. And I'm very, very happy that we all are taking it forward in a very beautiful way. Just make sure that one very important last thing I would like to really speak, and I speak it in all the programs. The mental health is basically getting divided into three major areas. One is where a person is really having a problem and they are really not into a good state and they can't share, so they are not sharing and they are into their own shell. So we need to bring them out. That's very important. Then there is a second category who has taken it in a show off kind of culture nowadays. The teenagers and even the elders, if something a little bit happens and they say, oh, I'm so depressed today, oh, I'm so unhappy today, oh, something really bad is happening to me, and then hundreds of people start giving them likes, or start giving them those sad smileys and so many things, and they seek attention out of it. So this is something which you really need to find out, that are you just taking out these words depressed and so many big words just to get some attention, some likes here and there, and are you really into it or not? So please bifurcate it very very nicely. And the third category is who are just not bothered. You will go and say that somebody's not happy today, so what? It's okay. After 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they'll be fine. It's perfectly okay. So the three categories need to be managed very very well, because the main who are really facing it, they'll never come to you and say that yes, I'm really facing it. So you really need to find out. If you are aware about it, start talking to those people, and you will see that you've brought a lot of changes. So congratulations to everybody for starting such a nice platform, and congratulations for the Sathi. That is a beautiful thing which we are going to start. It will create a big change at all the places wherever you all are. And seeing your enthusiasm, I'm really really happy that you all are going to take it at a very very different level. And I'm always there to support anything, anywhere you need any kind of support. I'm always there. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity, and congratulations to all of you, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We believe